Good morning, beautiful people. I wanted to come this morning and just talk about how to embrace your voice. And I want to talk about it because I have a artist development client. Her name is Honey Gun. She has a wonderful, wonderful voice. And she actually just released a single November 16th. Very nice single. And we were in a voice lesson and she was going over the song and she seemed so uncomfortable because I feel like she was trying to reach the perfection that she had on the record. And so she was being very cerebral. This is a song that she wrote. Okay. And she was being very like cerebral about it to the point where she didn't sound free. And I had to tell her, like, give yourself permission to reinterpret your song live. You know what I mean? Like, nobody has to be married to what they did on record, especially when it's your song. When you sing your song live, you want to um you want to add a little razzle dazzle to it. Okay, it's like you want the song to then come to life. If people loved what was recording, the recording is the product. What you do live is your actual fun, in real time interpretation of it. Remember, you're an artist. You are free to interpret and reinterpret your music. Um, and I feel like once I gave her permission to do that, and especially sometimes we have to reinterpret our music because depending on how we feel, some notes may be easier, some runs may be easier than what was on the record. And so it's like, let's say you recorded the song at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, but now you're singing and it's 10 o'clock at night. There's going to be certain things that your voice is just not open to do at that time. And it's okay to kind of yield to what feels good in your body. And this is why, as a voice teacher, I'm always asking my students, once they do something correctly, I ask, how does that feel? Because it's so important to kind of make the connection of what good singing not only sounds like, but what it feels like. And we should always kind of go in the direction of something feeling good in our body. When it feels good, it's right, baby. So I had to give her permission to do that. And once she did that, the interpretation, it was like, now I was looking at an artist. Now I didn't even feel like I was a vocal teacher anymore. I felt like I was just enjoying somebody, enjoying their music. And there were certain things she added, certain things she took away, certain things she did differently. And I think it was great. That being said, I said, okay, now let's try that with a song that's not yours. And this is where I'm going with this. When a song isn't yours, can you still stay in that artist mode? How do you own a song that someone else killed? So, for example, the other song that we're working on is Anita Baker. Child, it's either Rapture or Sweet Love. I think it's Rapture. And I give this song to singers because I think Anita Baker probably has some of the most difficult vocal lines. I think Jasmine Sullivan also has really difficult vocal lines, especially that Pick Up Your Feelings. It's so difficult that you have to really think about it and you have to memorize physically what these notes feel like because you're having registration shifts like every other note. So what does it feel like to sing those songs well? And so then it becomes, okay, can you stay in this free artist mode with a song that is more vocally difficult? And how do we do that? I want you as an artist. Now, when you're a singer, yes, you should be vocal modeling. I'm all about vocal modeling. I don't think that, you should throw away all of the amazing singers because you're afraid you're going to sound like them. It's not a sign of low self-esteem. It's not a sign that you don't know your voice. If you're modeling great singers, that's how you learn to be a great singer yourself. I would say once you've learned how to sing like them, start thinking about how can I make this now sound like me, right? And sometimes, like I know for myself, I'll use myself as an example. When I did Won't He Do It by Corinne Hawthorne, I had actually seen somebody do like a 30-second or 1-minute clip of that song just with a guitar. And I knew then that the guitar was the aesthetic for me. I don't do well with big production sounds, especially production that is not real instrumentation, right? Once we start dealing with synthesized instruments and things like that, I feel less at home with the music. So I knew it had to be a real instrument that I was going to sing that song with. I knew that I wanted it to sound like less like pop and more like R&B. So I slowed it down. The other thing you do to make songs sound a little more soulful and less poppy, less hip hoppy, is you lower the key. So it's kind of sitting in your voice in a place that doesn't feel so, you know what I mean? I was thinking of another song when I did that. But the point is, when you lower the key, when you slow the song down, you kind of allow it to sit in the beat a bit more. Now it sounds more soulful. Now I feel more free to sing and I can actually interpret the song. So I was talking to my artist who is also more of a soul R&B singer. And I was saying, okay, you're learning Sweet Love, and Anita Baker is one of the best singers on the planet. But how can we sing an Anita Baker song, which most people choose not to sing because she's so difficult? How can we sing her song and still sound like myself? I said, so we found an acoustic track of the song that immediately changed the feel. And I could tell there was a comfort that came once you heard the acoustic track. I personally think she needs to lower it at least a half step, just so that when she gets to the high parts, her voice feels like it's blossoming. She doesn't feel tired halfway through the song, and maybe slow it down by a couple BPMs. I think the song is going to sit with her so well, and it'll mesh with her original song, and it'll go beautifully in her set. Because the reality is, as an artist, I don't care what artist you are, you're going to sing covers in your set. Most artists are singing covers in their set, especially soul artists. You know what I'm saying? So how can we take these amazing, iconic soul songs and fit them into our set without sounding like we just came from, a concert to karaoke night? You don't want to sound like karaoke night in your own concert, in your own show. So there has to be a common thread, and the common thread is you and your interpretation. And so you got to own your strengths. And once you own your strengths, then everything you pick is going to kind of have to evolve around your strengths and what you want to bring out. Or else all you're going to do is highlight what you're not so good at if you try to sing a song exactly like an artist that you know is probably slightly either above your pay grade or just outside of your strengths. You know what I mean? That's all I had to say today. Hi, Saucy. Good morning. Hi, Cedar of Lebanon. You got to rock out with the proper instruments. Exactly. I do. I need real instrumentation. I can't do the tracks. Buenos dias. Oh, hi, Mystic Man. What about never singing the song? What about never singing the song live in its original key? What I'm confused. What is your question? Hi, Mark. Good morning. What about never singing the song live in the original key? You don't have to. You don't have to sing it in the original key. You don't have to sing it in the original tempo. I mean, I can use myself as an example. My song, I Need You. I really, really wanted that to be a live instrumentation song when it was first done. It was not. And the song was slightly too fast for me. So I have no idea how I recorded that song. I really feel like the Holy Ghost took over, because I struggled with that song. And then all of a sudden I had these amazing takes, and I thought maybe the engineer did something to my voice that it sounded so good. But the ease with which I recorded that song, it was very difficult to replicate, because the song was like written in my break. And so it takes me a little bit of time to kind of maneuver those really fast transitions. So I didn't change the key, but I sure the heck changed the arrangement of the song, right? If you notice the very recent performance that I did of it, I cut those verses out altogether, because those verses were going to be the end of me. Too much movement. So I cut out the verses. I slowed it down. And now it's like literally only one instrument. It's a guitar. I would love to fill it in with other live instruments, but just having the guitar changed the feel and changed my comfort with it. So even with my own song, if you look at Beyonce, she doesn't sing Listen the way that it is on the record. If you listen to Whitney Houston, She never sang any of her music, especially when you talk about her concerts. She totally changed the tempo, totally changed the key and the arrangement. She took like entire breaks sometimes between the bridge and the final chorus or whatever to give herself a chance to breathe. Own your stage, own your moments, and do what is best for you as an artist so that you shine as an artist. Your audience is not going to critique that you didn't sing it exactly like the record. They're just going to be like, yo, I loved how she made that her own. And then they're actually going to rate you highly because you did what was best for you as an artist. So embrace it. Embrace those things. It said, keep giving all the praise to God. Look, I'm speaking facts, okay? I watched your video on Dream Killers. God really used it to speak to me. Oh, praise God. Greetings. Are you still offering the vocal training classes? Me and my daughter are highly interested in your classes if they're still available. Hello, good morning, Travis. Yes. I'm offering a lot of different things. I have a membership program that just rolled out. It's $1 for the first month and $39 after that. There's a bunch of pre-recorded videos, and I do a monthly live in a private Facebook group. You can go to delisa.thinkific.com or just go to my site, delisa.com, go under courses. If you want private sessions, inbox me. I'm actually going to be sending out emails. I'm going to start setting up my January to April session. So I do 12 weeks at a time. Well, 12 weeks over a 14-week period at a time. And so go ahead and go to my site. You'll see my rates and everything, or just inbox me or email me, delisa@gmail.com. Let me know that you're interested, and we can take it from there. But I am getting people lined up for January, for the new year. So thank you for asking. And I look forward to working with you, sir. That was a terrible accent. I guess meaning like recording all the money notes like F5, but keying it down or dodging the high note slide. And that's the thing, right? Here's the thing, right? When you're a pop princess, you record those things, you make money off of it. Of course, as the audience, you're going to be disappointed when the person doesn't hit the money notes. But I feel like lower the key so that you can follow the line, because those are the money notes. You got to know why people paid to hear you sing, right? Shaka Khan, with all of her flaws, she's going to sing those high notes. And you're going to be like, you know what? That lady could still sing. If she, looked under the influence of a substance and wasn't singing the high notes, that would be a problem. But the fact that this woman could be under the influence of something and performing, slurring her words, and she's still hitting every single high note, we feel like, yeah, that lady still got it. You're still going to buy a ticket to see her because she's going to give you what you want, right? I do think that's important as an artist, to be mindful of the type of music that we're putting out, and then what our audience is going to want from us when they pay money to see us, right? You've built up all this hype that you can do this. So you gotta know what your selling points are. This is why my music tends to be very relaxed and laid back, because I don't want nobody paying money to hear me because they want to hear a high note. No, because that's too much pressure. That being said, the next song I'm putting out does have some high notes, and I'm nervous about putting it out because I'm like, Lord, people gonna want to hear me sing this live, and I don't need that kind of pressure in my life. But I'm only doing it one time. I'm putting out one song with a high note, and that's that. But great question. Great question. Would I ever cover a Disney song? I would say yes. They tend to be too high for me. I love Disney songs. Like, I've always wanted to sing A Whole New World, but I can't sing it in that key. I will sound, when I tell you the struggle bus will be riding in if I try to sing A Whole New World. Or the Little Mermaid stuff. I love those songs. They're just too high. Or even the Pocahontas. The way that thing will have to be lowered, it'll be a whole sultry thing by the time I'm done with it. But yes, I love those things. I have noticed I'm having issues with my voice. Delisa have range, y'all. Yeah, I do have range. And it's funny, once I come out with this next song, you guys are going to be like, wait, hold up. You have all this? Yes, I do. And I want to keep it, which is why I don't sing like this often, because y'all ain't about to run my voice into the ground. No, no, no. I have noticed I'm having issues with my voice cracking as I try to ascend into my higher register. I'm trying to figure out what type of chord closure I need to find stability. Well, yeah, I think in that instance, hums are really good because hums help you connect, right? Any kind of hums or singing through straws, any kind of sliding, right? Sliding helps you kind of figure out what the point of lack of a better word, what the point of demarcation is, right? Where you're going from one texture to the other, where you're going from one register to the other, like whatever that tension point is that's making your voice break, helps you identify that, and not only identify it, but it helps you rectify it. So if you're doing slides and the vocal quality changes from low to high, then you got to do them slower so you kind of find the point that it's flipping. And then you figure out, okay, since that's the point where I'm flipping, then I need to make sure I stay relaxed. I got to move my jaw when I hit that point so that the top note can have the same intensity and texture as the bottom note. Anyways, I've always thought you had a glorious high register, but you rarely display it outside of warm-ups. Thank you so much. Head voice for sure. If I was if it's opera, then yeah, sure, the whole head voice thing, I love that. My voice feels very, very free and limitless in opera and classical singing, but that's not what my audience wants to hear, so I don't incorporate that. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not trying to market myself as I'm not trying to do all that. Because then you guys are going to be like, can you whistle? No, my whistle is trash. This is it. So when you start low, the expectation is low. So when you sing high, people go, oh my God, she's amazing. See, boom. But if you start high, but then you can't really go too much higher than the high you started at, people are like, I mean, she good. No. It's all about packaging. It's all about packaging. So you guys have a lot of comments today. Whoa, it's 10 in the morning. I did not expect to have this many people on here. She makes me sick. How did Brandy make the transition from Minnie Whitney to finding her sound? You know what? I just think Brandy is really gifted. I think she found her sound because she realized once she mastered Whitney at 15, there was more she could do. I think she just took what she had and just was like, oh, I mean, I can do this run, but I can end it like this. I can do this run, but I can end it like this. So I kind of heard an in-between chord that I could play around with. I just think her gift was beyond. I think Whitney had a great voice and has great musicianship, but I don't think that she did anything necessarily inventive, right? She wasn't inventive with her singing. She was just a great technician. She was a very she was great at execution, but it wasn't anything for lack of a better word, it wasn't innovative singing. It was just great singing. I think Brandy mastered her execution and just realized that musically she could take it further. I battle with that. I sing high, but I love my lower register. Singing in the studio is great for that. Live, however, I can't sing a thing low. That's funny, Jay. Singing in the studio is live, however, I can't sing a thing low. That's wild, man. Well, you probably can't sing low live because of the adrenaline. Like, you really have to, I say it all the time, you got to stay in your body. You have to be aware of your body and how much pressure your body is and force your body is putting into singing these notes. Because if you're like, If your energy's all the way up here, then it's hard to be like da, 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 da. That even that was too much. Da, 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 da. Like you have to dial it all the way back, and you have to trust your acoustics. You got to trust the microphone. You got to trust that people can hear you. So we tend to push because we have an audience and we want people to hear us. And really, we should just trust our bodies, trust our instruments, and sing efficiently. That's why it works well in the studio and not live. But yeah, come on home. Get these lessons. You guys have so many. Y'all don't be talking to me lately. Y'all talking to me today. Look at this. Okay. Hey, Auntie Delisa. Wow. I have been following you since I was 19. I'm now 25. I'm from Zimbabwe. Your tutorials are still relevant to this day. Even when I attended Music Academy, I used to work. God bless you. You know what? I know they're relevant. That's why I don't make no more videos. I'm just like, I don't know what else to say. Like, I don't know how to hop on trends. Like, I said everything I wanted to say. There's nothing more I want to say. So I appreciate that you recognize that what I said 10 years ago is still relevant today. Zikidon! How are you, my love? Oh my gosh, I love that you love the ear training. I'm actually doing an actual ear training product coming up very soon. Give me like a month or two. I'm going to be, like I said, doing an actual ear training product. So I'm excited about that. Hi, Gabe. I'm well. How are you? All right. Curious, are you an alto? Technically, from my voice teacher standpoint, from a classical standpoint, I am a lyric soprano. I'm like a ghetto coloratura lyric soprano. It's like I'm not really there yet. But and most people would say that I'm an alto until they hear my high voice and they go, altos can't do that. But let's be very clear. There's contraltos, mezzo sopranos, and sopranos, technically. But I know what you mean when you say alto. Yes, in the stuff that I like to sing, I try to start as low as possible. Not everyone needs to be Mariah Carey or Shanice. I love a great head voice. Whistle can sound dry. Thank you. Exactly. Everyone doesn't need to. They're good at what they do. They're great at what they do. I don't need to replicate them. They're still alive to do what they do. Why I gotta be them? For you to like me. Just like my voice. That's it. Hold on. It's 11 at night in the Philippines. I'm glad I caught you then. I have assistants that live in the Philippines, and it's so hard to catch up with them. Like, I got to catch them. It's like I wake up at 7 in the morning and I'm texting them about all the things I need, and then they go to sleep. And then when they wake up in the morning, they send me stuff. By morning, I mean 7 o'clock evening, my time. My voice teacher says he can tell I'm a tenor by my lower notes. What do low notes tell you about vocal fog? This is true. I mean, you could tell if your lower notes get really warm, and that's the thing with me, right? If I were truly a mezzo or a contralto, my low notes would be where my voice blossoms, right? It would be like the heaviest, richest, most vibrant part of my voice. And it's not. It's warm. It's soothing. And that's what people love about it. But that does not a mezzo soprano make, right? A true mezzo would have this super, I don't want to say richness, because I think my voice is rich. There's just a natural ease of intensity that's there. That's not there in a soprano. And I would say the same thing for a tenor. Your lower notes are probably very warm and very beautiful, but they don't have a certain presence that a baritone would have in those same notes. And I'm not a vocal fock expert. Like, I have all the I have all of the notes and literature that talk about the exact moments of demarcation. But you know what? I'm one of those voice teachers. It freed me when I was in pedagogy class, and they were talking about how there was a pedagogue that was saying, if you really want to break stuff down, every note can be considered a register shift. And I like that because if you consider every note a register shift, then you won't wait until your voice is literally about to break to make adjustments. You adjust with every note. You adjust your placement. You adjust the breath pressure. You adjust the height of your soft palate, the tongue. Like you keep all of those things agile and limber so that you're not, just kind of going along until it breaks. And now we got to figure out how to get between these two notes. That's too much anxiety. Like if I just keep my voice free the whole time, then, it'll take a really trained ear to even know where your breaks are. You have a feminine head voice. Okay. Let's see. I hear Lisa and Cece Winans and wonder how one person can be so good. Yes, Cece's voice and like you said, Lisa, they're amazing. Reactions are trendy, but you got to be obnoxious. Right. I noticed that. You got, oh my God. You have to act like you just saw the eighth wonder of the world. And most people are not the eighth wonder of the world. They're just not. I mean, I'm happy you're good, but come on now. Come on. Am I a flute yet? Look, I had to stop taking those lessons because he was like really trying to get me into competitions. I mean, I was just thinking about it this morning. Like, man, I remember him saying by October, I really want you to have learned Rejoice, which I did learn like 80% of it, if not all of it. Stuff like that. Here's the thing. He wasn't just teaching me because he liked me. He was teaching me because he's like, I'm going to get you in these competitions. You finna win stuff. You about to be out there. And I was like, oh, but I need to focus on my business. So because I didn't want to waste his time, like I loved learning it to learn it, but I didn't have the time to really put into submitting to competitions and auditioning, sending in audition tapes and all of that stuff. I was just like, look, I got to get back to you when I have the time to really make this, because that's a whole career path. The whole classical path is a true career path. And I was just like, I get it. I can't right now. I can't. Good morning, Chris Carlisle. Y'all, I highlight every comment, so don't say nothing you don't want up on the screen. All right. He said he doing too much. He was trying to get money in my pocket because the competitions are how you end up on main stages, right? The adjudicators at these competitions also run the opera houses. So it's like once you do well there, then you're going to be invited to this huge event and that huge event. Like I really did want to eventually do there's a place in Philly, the Kennedy Center. I would love to put on a recital at the Kennedy Center and just feature Black music because my focus in my program was my interest anyway. And if I were to continue on the collegiate path, my stuff would be about Black music across the African diaspora. So not just African-American spirituals, but Jamaican folk songs, Trinidadian folk songs, Puerto Rican, Colombian, Haitian, African. There's classical artists in all of these places. And what they do is they take their folk music, just like Black Americans have done with their spirituals, and they set it to a classical text. And my goal was to find all of these folk songs and find these composers that probably are just sitting at home with their music in their books, on their bookshelf. I would want to find those people and highlight their music at like a Kennedy Center type recital. So that was my goal. That kind of stuff gets easier once you're in that industry. You know what I mean? So that's what I wanted to do. I just, that's a whole nother career path. It just sounds so exciting, though. I would hate for my master's recital to be my last recital. Anyways, if you sing with a lot of warmth, how do you transition to power? That's the thing. If you're transitioning to power, then it's about the register. Like you have to know where your voice blossoms. And you have to know how. Like warmth has to be a choice, right? So there's certain areas of your voice where, like, you have to first of all know the natural flow of your voice. And once you know the natural flow of your voice, you know where your voice blossoms. You know where your voice is most powerful, and it's easy to be powerful, and it feels better to be powerful. So you just kind of choose the keys and the songs that work with what is best for your voice. That's the best way for me to answer that very general question. She didn't like being boxed into one flock because then it put limiting. Absolutely. And one thing that was great about Jessie Norman is even though, oh, she's a dramatic soprano, she sang a lot of lyric material. She sang a lot of light lyric material because that's the kind of material that you need to keep your voice really fluid and agile. And that lady was a master at that. How do you keep an even timbre in your warmer register? Oh my God, while we're on here, join my Facebook group. It's Artist Development for Independent Artists. I don't talk about this group enough, but we talk a lot about artist development, about branding, about marketing, making money, setting yourself up for success. And obviously we have, vocal technique discussions and stuff like that. I think if you're not signed up, you should be signed up for that group. A lot of good stuff going on in there. It's all about breath. It's all about breath control and vocal control and releasing tension. Most of the issues we deal with, I don't care what level you're at, most of not all the issues you're dealing with singing have to do with tension. Well, I can't say all. There's a lot of issues, but tension tends to be the number one. Because of tension, I'm sharp. Because of tension, I'm flat. Because of tension, I sound strident. Because of tension, my voice sounds too dark. Tension is a lot of times the bottom line culprit. So we're constantly figuring out ways to relieve tension. For instance, if you want to sing, what is the for instance? Thoughts on Genuine? I haven't heard him sing in a long time. Can he really sing? He has good songs, but I don't remember him being able to like really sing, if that makes sense. Those are my thoughts. Is the AM hour the best time to try and record? It depends. I think any time is a good time if you're warmed up. Personally, my voice sounds better after 1 in the afternoon. Most people's voice sound better in the afternoon after they've been up, after they've eaten. It's all about warming up. But that being said, if you are an early bird and you work out and you just up and going at 6:30, by 9 o'clock you could be ready to sing. Everyone has their own circadian rhythm, so that's a very personal, question. Hi, William. Do you have any advice for voice recovery after bad habits? It's all about after bad habits like smoking. I would say that it's all about detoxing, right? I don't think you should think of it as voice recovery. That's a very limited scope. Your whole body needs to recover. Because I don't think it was only your voice that suffered. Like your lungs suffered, your blood suffered, multiple organs suffer because of smoke inhalation. And when all of those organs become cleansed from the toxins generated because of smoke inhalation, your entire body will recover, and that includes your voice. Good question. Jim Wise is basically the Chris Brown of the 90s. What? I really like Chris Brown singing. don't recall Genuine being as good as Chris Brown. Good morning, Isaiah. You're welcome. So, just so you know, you guys, I have a membership program. It's $1 for the first month. Go to my website and look at courses. I would love for you guys to sign up for it. Let me see. I'm going to type it in here. Delisa.thinkific.com. Go on there. It's $1 for the first month. I actually have a free product on there as well. I would love to keep in touch with you guys. You are most welcome, William. I would love to keep in touch with you guys through email because, as you can see, you never know when social media is going to fail you. I would love for you guys to stay in contact with me. My freshman through junior year, I was in jazz choir, and we had to be in class ready to sing by 6:30 a.m. Yeesh. Yeesh. 6:30. How long are the payments after the first month? As long as you want to be. It's $39 a month after that. And so what I'm going to be doing, there's already about 60 something videos in there, and I'm probably going to double it. So there's a lot of videos already there. And it encompasses more than just vocal lessons. It's the ear training, it's the theory, it's beginning piano, it's makeup, it's fashion. So there's a lot of stuff in there. It's even like audio recording techniques, it's mindset, it's a lot of things in there. And yes, we're going live tonight on Saucy Vocals to discuss the membership program. Thoughts on Tyrese as a singer? Not really. I think he can sing. I don't really have thoughts. For beginner singers, how do they access their head voice for the first time? You can't assume people aren't accessing their head voice. Beginner singers, that doesn't really say what they know from what they don't know by saying they're a beginner. Some people think they're a beginner and they can't match pitch. Other people are beginners and all they sing is head voice. Other people, all they do is sing loud. So it depends. It depends. You have to build a whole foundation. Oh, my Lord. How would I help Alicia Keys? I would highly suggest she change the keys of her song. Number one, I'm not sure what is leading her to sing everything a good whole step outside of her comfort zone. And that's leading to, honestly, I think that's the biggest issue that she has. Everything is just written too high. Everything. It's like, you wrote this for yourself? No. And I really think that's the bulk of her issue. And if she's going to sing that high, she just needs to change her technique. She's singing too harshly. She's singing with too much force on her actual vocal cords. She would need to lift her soft palate and release some tongue tension for it to float more. But I think she really likes that kind of aggressive, growly sound. It's like she kind of wants her voice to be bigger than it really is. And a lot of people do that, right? They want their voice to be something it's not. And so they kind of push it to get that sound. And I mean, all you hear is damage. Damage, damage, damage. I don't know why we don't hear enough about brilliant male singers. Maybe they don't make as much money as the brilliant, they aren't as marketable or as profitable, I should say, as the brilliant female singers. That's probably all it is. They're out there. Right, they're out there. Hi, Raheen. How would you help Keisha Cole? Same thing. Same thing. All her stuff is too high and just too forced. And I listen to her and I'm just like, why? And I would teach her more agility. I think she kind of has her one or two tricks, one or two runs that she does all the time. She just needs a more diverse musical vocabulary so she can sound like a well-rounded singer. What happened? She overworked herself. She burnt herself out. She put out what, 5 albums in 5 years or 3 years or something crazy like that. Tour, stress. I think all of that wore on her body. Man, listen, we only have one body, guys. It's made out of dirt, y'all. We cannot run ourselves into the ground. We're not robots. I think that's what happened to her. Beyonce does that, but she's smart because she picks the right key. Beyonce is a very intelligent singer. She thinks through everything, including, all right, if I'm going to sing like this, what key do I put it in so that I don't put mileage unnecessarily on my voice? She's a very smart singer. Very, very smart. Probably the smartest singer out there, to be honest. Finally, someone said it about Keisha. Very, absolutely. When you really listen to her live, I mean, you can tell how rehearsed she is because she really doesn't make mistakes. Like, I never hear her flat. I never hear her sharp. Like, she is such a technician. Like, you can tell she beats everything about her performance into the ground. And that takes a lot of dedication because it's one thing if you have like a few songs that you can sing with your eyes closed, but this woman can sing multiple genres, you just with dancing, without dancing, all of that, as if it's just so natural for her. So I think that goes a long way in saying her level of dedication to her craft, not just as a performer, but as a singer. Like, she really took the singing part very, very seriously and continues to, because you can hear all the adjustments that she's making to make sure that she's bringing her best to the table at all times. What? She took a lot of voice lessons. Note to self, we only have one body and it's made out of dirt. Thanks. You're very welcome. Don't run yourself into the ground. I'm really thinking more and more lately, like, we just weren't made to be this stressed on a day-to-day basis. I just feel like this was not God's design. This wasn't God's design. Listen, I've been wanting to get a hand on Keisha for many years now. Why does Mary? I don't think she still sounds horrible. I don't at all. I heard her live almost 10 years ago, and I was like, dang, I really enjoyed her. I don't think she still sounds horrible. I hate that that idea is still being perpetuated. If you don't like her voice, like the actual tone, I can see that. But to say she sounds horrible is just, I don't think that's true. And to be honest with you, her music is not very easy to sing. Like, do you hear a lot of people singing her music at open mic? Think about the songs that people sing all the time. Y'all be swearing these basic singers are great. If they were that great, you wouldn't have a million people singing their music. You better give props where it's due. People don't sing Mary J. Blige songs because they're hard. They're difficult. Adele is basic. If Adele makes the equivalent of Hillsong for pop, y'all swear somebody doing something with "Go easy Like, are y'all serious? Y'all are acting like it's the best thing that has ever happened to music. And then everybody that sings it, y'all are falling over yourselves. What is going on? What is going on? That's why I was like, I just can't get into this trend. I mean, God bless her. I'm happy she's successful. But great singer, that does not a great singer make. I am bored. Quincy, both. Her voice and her songs are basic. And I'm not saying she does not have a nice voice. I'm not saying she does not have a nice tone. But is it what y'all? No. I've heard better singers sing her song and make her song sound more appealing because their voices were more interesting. It had more depth. It had more character. Y'all just, ooh. Everybody's singing her songs. It's literally like any given Bethel, Maverick City, or Hillsong. Y'all just run with the most basic things. And then you hail up the people that sing it. It's like, what the heck? And y'all, these challenges crack me up. I just find it interesting that, that somebody sent it to me and was like, oh, can you sing this? It's like a new viral challenge. I learned it in 20 seconds. And you guys shared the crap out of that. It's like, are you serious? I learned it in 20 seconds. That was not hard. I just feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone sometimes. Like, have y'all heard me sing in 7/8 time in French? That's hard. This is not hard. Have you heard me sing Rejoice Greatly? Handel's been doing harder stuff than that since the 1700s. This is not hard. Whew. Anyways. But it's pop. It's popular. It's pop culture. I get it. I understand the game. So I don't hate the player. I hate the game. What does this say? I didn't think I read it. I think Beyonce set out to be one of the best singers. And yes, this is true. I agree. I agree. She set out to be one of the best singers. Seriously, no matter how long it took, she wanted to be on the level of Barbara. It's true. I believe it. I believe it. How is she one of the most overrated singers? She's a great artist. She's always been a great artist. I don't think anyone walked around saying Mary J. Blige is my favorite singer. If she was anyone's favorite, anything is her favorite artist. Everyone loved her story. Everyone loved what she represented. And that's the power of branding. She was branded very well. She took an old soul sound from the 70s and the 80s, and she mixed it with hip hop. Nobody else was doing that at the time that she did that. That's what made Mary great. Do you think it's easier to sing CCM? Absolutely. CCM it's like nursery rhymes. It's created for the whole congregation to be able to sing along. So when you're making congregational music, it's the same as creating nursery rhymes, right? You want to make the intervals easy. It's literally intentionally created to be easy for people with very little musical ability to catch on. I don't really follow him. I can think of his voice. I think he has a good voice. I don't follow him enough to say anything other than that. I know he has a nice vibe. I know he has a great, very dedicated following. But other than that, I wouldn't have anything to say about him. Why is everyone singing her music the exact same way? Because there's no other way to sing it. Rihanna hasn't sung in ages. Of course, anyone's vocal ability can get worse, or if you don't practice, that goes for anybody, not just You know, Rihanna. I think Rihanna is a very smart woman. I think she used the music to get to what she's doing now. I think she's a very smart woman. And look, she was selling it and y'all bought it. And she's like, thank you. Now I can do what I was really going to do. You said, but Chandler Moore can really sing, though. There are some good singers singing CCM, but it doesn't change what CCM is. It doesn't make his music unsingable just because he sings really well. He's fitting into the genre. He's not changing the genre. What about Monica? Is it the voice or the way she sings? The accent sing? I think she has a very pretty voice too. I think she's limited as well. I think she needs to expand her musical vocabulary, but I think she does have a very, very nice voice. Adele's basic. But you know, people like basic because it makes them, that's what makes things popular. What are your thoughts on Adele's voice? Oh, okay, I think I said that already. I love her MJB music, but in that song, all that I can say, all that I can say, all that I can say. So, like in my Christmas song, someone was saying, Saucy said something about doing a Delisa song choice challenge or something like that. You did a run challenge. So I did an interview with Trey McLaughlin, and the first thing he said, it was last year right around the time I put out my Christmas videos. He's like, I just saw a clip of a video you put out. That run you did was hard. It was on our troubles will be out of sight. Can we do a run challenge on that? Because we have real singers struggling to do that. I did. Okay, sleepy time. Are we the public arm with organic chicken tenders and ketchup? It's true. Can we talk about Tori Kelly? She's amazing. I don't know what else you want me to say. She's amazing. I would love to work with Kiki Wyatt. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? If I worked with Kiki Wyatt, she would be the next Barbra Streisand. I would be like, woman, you need to be in movies. You need to be doing you need to be singing at the Oscars. Stop singing at these festivals. You need to be singing at the Oscars. Ugh. Her voice is amazing. Good morning, Miss Brenda. Well, I think Monica brings something to the table that other R&B singers aren't, and I think for her generation, it was new, right? It was an older soul in a younger body, and you know, the voice was so mature and all of those things. And her audience has grown with her. Monica has truly grown into her. I don't think she grew into her voice, to be honest. I think she's had the exact same voice since she was 15. And I think that's why I say she's limited. I would love to hear her grow in her gift. Maybe there's a couple things that she does a bit that are a bit more polished, like maybe her access to chest voice isn't as abrupt, right? But other than that, I feel like the runs are the same. I feel like the challenges are pretty much the same. I feel like the vibrato is the same. Yeah. So I would say she hasn't really grown into her voice. I would only say Monica is overrated when comparing her to who compared her to Whitney. Wait a minute. I'm gonna keep on buying too. That's hilarious. Good morning, Greg. Teach you, boy. You better have your money ready. I don't know Bjork like that to say anything. Hollywood said her can get boring. Um, I've never listened to a full playlist of her, but I do notice that she kind of has one vibe. I like the vibe personally, you know. But if you're somebody that kind of likes to dance, I can see how she can get boring. She definitely has a niche sound that she sticks to and does over and over again. It's a very, yeah, she just has a very specific sound. And I can see why he would just be like, all right, girl. What are your thoughts on Maya's voice? I think Maya can sing. I think she's a solid singer. I don't think she's not a solid singer. But no one seems to know what to do with her voice. Think, I don't think that's, I think Jennifer Hudson is phenomenal as well. I don't think it's that no one knows what to do with her voice. I think Jennifer boxes herself in by the way she sings. If she comes off like a one-trick pony, then they're just going to keep having her at the award show as the lady that does the big gospel tribute or the gospel sounding tribute. That's what she did. Let's go back to Jessie Norman. Jessie Norman was the black lady with the big voice, the big dramatic soprano. But she did not box herself into that big sound. And like I said, she sang a lot of lyric and light lyric material because she didn't want to be boxed in as just the lady with the big voice that sings all the powerful things. Jennifer Hudson has a choice to do that as well. And she chooses not to. So because she doesn't really sing in her middle voice in a smaller, lighter way with less vibrato, everything just comes off super powerful and very churchy. And that's a choice. I don't think so. Indeed. Her soft palate is too high. So it's like froggy. Mm-hmm. Yikes. That would never go. She makes it that. I think her best work was with Neo, personally. It says Jennifer Hudson is definitely not pop. Her voice is too dark and heavy. That's a choice. She could totally do pop because I've heard her all the stuff. Spotlight. I, I, I've been through some things. Please don't hold that against me. Ain't no one gonna love you like I'm gonna. I loved her anything she did with Neo. I loved it. So it's her choice if she wants to keep going back to ballads. That's what I'm saying. I think Maya is a well-rounded entertainer, singer, and dancer. To me, she was underrated. Well, you're saying she was an underrated Britney. She was a black Britney. Britney had a black sound and was white. So there's that. Funny that I joined in on the Monica discussion. I want to hear her sing different things, jazz covers, just something different to get herself to. Yes, yeah. She's limited. Yeba is not the next Adele. No, not at all. Yeba's not even pop. Never. Yeba's like alternative R&B, folk type stuff. I wouldn't agree with that. I can't really switch my brain on to tell you that right now, how to lower the soft palate. I mean, I'm pulling a blank because I'm not teaching right now. So JH would be a perfect Jordan Sparks if she did pop. I like it. I like it. Like if she sang No Air, I was thinking No Air. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. That's a good one. I agree. Yes. She would kill it. She would kill No Air. Are you kidding me? You can't go a day without listening to Maya. You all out you all out of all people shouldn't say that about her. What did he say? I missed it. Her stay stuck with the gloomy sound. I mean, her is not a new generation Alicia Keys. Where do y'all come from with this? She's a new generation. I would have to say more like a Lauryn Hill. She samples a lot of stuff, like a lot of R&B soul, like, and even if she's not sampling it, you can draw a direct kind of connection to what sound inspired different songs. And it's usually a late 90s. A lot of times it's a late 90s sound or an 80s sound. How do you break church habits vocally? Try to sing. You know what? That's a good question. All of that, that's just so much to talk about with that. The fast vibrato, just listen to more R&B. They're smoother. They're trying to be sensual. And I think a lot of times church singers try to avoid sounding sensual. To me, is one of my favorite singers, period. I agree. Jordan Sparks has potential, but she definitely has some vocal technique issues that, I mean, she's had since day one that she's just never worked out. I like Her's voice. Mariah Carey's tone is unlike no other. Agreed. I mean, there are other people that do kind of sound like her, but I do think that her musicianship is definitely takes her to the next level because she's one of those innovative singers. She's not like people imitate her, and there are people that have a similar tone and can duplicate what she's done. But she kind of is an innovator that she pushes her genre. So in that respect, nobody is like Mariah Carey. I don't really know George Lovett to talk about him. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Sorry. I don't know Michael McDonald. I'm sorry. I remember people were mad at Coco for not thinking her was exactly brilliant. I mean, her voice isn't brilliant. I mean, she has a good voice and she sings what she sings well. But I mean, Coco is a big ballad soprano. Is she supposed to be impressed by someone who kind of stays in a lower kind of mellow range? It's kind of like either you like her or you don't, but you're not gonna like her because of his vocal ability. Not saying she's not doesn't have vocal ability, but that's not what her music is about. Her music is a vibe, and she sings very well. And I think if you were to give her more challenging material, she could sing it very well. I think though the material she chooses to sing is kind of like Sade. She's a vibe. She's not the kind of singer who you're just like, oh my God. She's not the diva singer. That's not what this generation is doing. Exactly. It's all good. Maybe a little bit of both. Lauryn Hill was not a great singer. Exactly. It was the artistry. Exactly. Okay. Jasmine, not only vocal, but material. Hi, Shandaria. I follow him on IG. Lord Jesus. That's why the name sounds familiar, but I can't think of, if somebody sounds really good, then I follow them, and I follow them because I want to see more of them, but that doesn't mean the algorithm's going to show them to like remind me of who they are. That's what I'm saying. I know I've heard him before, and I think he's good, but I couldn't comment. You all up in my IG, bro? Yay. That's difficult because I actually think Kelly Price is perfection. Not just her voice, but like execution. Like she's another one who just never makes a mistake ever. Kiki is a Wild Wild West singer who just happens to be very, very gifted and always lands on her feet. You know what I mean? I don't think she plans much of her performances. She just really trusts her gift. And that's cool. But I think there's something very polished about Kelly that I can just appreciate. You guys, I've been on here forever. I've been on here over an hour. This was supposed to be 6 minutes. What in the world? Okay, guys. Listen, join my membership program, delisa.think, or just go to my website, delisa.com. If you want voice lessons, email me, delisa@gmail.com. I'm setting up for January. If you want to come to my conference in March, go to my website or email me and I can send you the links. The point of the matter is, hit me up, Instagram, email, Facebook, whatever it is, I'll get to you. Join my Facebook group, buy my t-shirts, support Hungry Kids, Keenan, Kiera, Kayla. And I cannot wait to work with you guys. I'm going to go because now I only have like an hour to actually get some work done. God bless you. Is Kelly Price as thought out and planned as Beyonce? Oh, I don't think Kelly Price has to plan as much. All right, y'all. Have a beautiful day. Talk soon.